How would you like to absolutely freeze your balls off? Or better yet, sweat your daily water intake within an hour? Well, some people have to live with that purely based on the extreme environments they live in. So instead of being warm and cozy where you're at right now, let's go ahead and take you to the coldest city in the world.
Oymyakon.
In Siberia is the coldest place where humans still live. Its coldest temperature recorded was in 1933, reaching negative 71.2 Celsius or negative 96.2 Fahrenheit. Now, because of this slightly nipply weather, there's only around 500 residents living there. Because of the extreme cold, their life is essentially shaped by it. Even doing basic things is a real challenge. Like if you wanted to cook, shower, or, drink water to stay properly hydrated, you'd have to get a block of ice that was cut out of the lake and either wait for it to melt or heat it on the stovetop. And that's not even the worst part. If you had to use the bathroom, you'd have to walk outside over to an outhouse, which isn't even heated, sit down, do your business, and hope to God your balls don't freeze to the toilet seat on your way up. It's so cold, in fact, that people leave their cars running 24/7 to prevent the engine from freezing solid. Now, after hearing all this, you're probably wondering, why would anybody even want to live here? Which is obviously very understandable. But people live there usually due to family, they might somehow like the lifestyle, and more importantly, work. The type of work there is mining, since they sit on top of a pretty rich gold mine that brings a good amount of money to the town, and the pay is apparently good enough to keep people living there. Now that your jaw just got a workout from shivering so much, let's go ahead and warm you up a little bit.
Jacobabad.
In Pakistan is one of the hottest places in the world where people still live, reaching an all-time high of 52.8 Celsius or 127 Fahrenheit in 1919. Now, it's not hot all year round. In the wintertime, it could actually reach as low as 11 Celsius to 52 Fahrenheit, which is chilly compared to its 46 Celsius or 115 Fahrenheit summer averages. Now, if you're thinking you just wait for nighttime and get a cool night's rest, you'll be very sorely mistaken, because even after the sun goes down, summer night averages are around 34 Celsius or 94 Fahrenheit. Now, at that point, I'd rather staple my nutsack to the ceiling than live there. Most of the people living there is stuck there due to family history, agriculture, and mainly poverty preventing relocation, which is kind of sad. Anyways, now that you're done sweating your tits off, let's go somewhere with a more reasonable temperature. Indonesia is a pretty peaceful cluster of around 15,000 islands. This place is great for living, agriculture, and vacationing, but it lies on the Ring of Fire on the equator. And no, I'm not talking about childbirth. The Ring of Fire is actually a horseshoe-shaped area lining the edge of the Pacific Ocean. This 40,000 kilometer area is the most seismically and volcanically active area in the world. The Java Island specifically sits on top of the Indo-Australian plate, which is currently underneath the Eurasian plate, causing lots of volatile volcanoes such as Marapi and Sumeru. The worst part about the volcanoes erupting is that they sometimes collapse underwater, subsequently causing tsunamis on the coast, which is definitely a no-go. But eruptions like that really only happen every couple of decades, but are very catastrophic when it does happen. For example, the 1883 Krakatoa eruption is the most destructive volcanic explosion in recorded history. It destroyed nearly 2/3 of the island itself and caused massive tsunamis that wrecked surrounding coastlines. The explosion was so massive that it's the loudest sound in history. It measured 310 decibels and shattered windows hundreds of miles away, and was heard around the globe. With that being said, this sounds like a very dangerous place to live that has tons of explosions, but usually ash plumes and small lava flows is the most common volcanic activity you'll see day to day. Despite all that, people continue living there because the volcanic soil is incredibly fertile, making it some of the best farmland on Earth. Last one for today's video is somewhat the tamest, but also the coolest.
Lake Maracaibo.
In Venezuela, it has thunderstorms on around 140 to 160 nights each year. That's close to half of the year having thunderstorms, which is crazy, because I'm lucky to even get 3 a year where I live. Not only that, these storms can have 28 strikes per minute for like 10 hours straight. To put that into perspective, you'd be going to bed and have to sleep with this going on. Now, I enjoy thunder quite a bit, but that's going a little overboard in my opinion. Now, you're probably thinking, damn, this sounds like a great place to get struck by lightning, which can happen, but these storms are mostly concentrated over the lake and don't really drift towards surrounding cities that often. So you'd only really be screwed if you're fishing on a boat and get caught in the middle of the storm. With that being said, it's actually pretty safe living here. It's just hella loud. Not only that, the area supports major fishing industries, sits on huge oil reserves, and is home to some of Venezuela's largest cities. So that's it for today's video. Let me know where you'd like to live out of these places down in the comments. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.